Carlos Alcaraz will have to wait for another year to be able to get his first Australian Open title. And not just that, get the tattoo he wants to get, which is a kangaroo tattoo, because Novak Djokovic ensured that did not happen early hours of today. What happened at the Grand Slam? Well, Djokovic is in the semi-final. Zverev would be the man that will try to see if he can stop him from making the title number 25 and also title number 11 at the Australian Open. Welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos.
Body greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us in London. I'm Austin Okonakman. Cecilia, it's good to know that Novak Djokovic still powers on at the Australian Open. They love him right there in Melbourne, but some controversies here and there. Let's see if Djokovic will be, focused enough to push it aside and face the business. But for us in Nigeria, we're celebrating the junior female yellow greens. What a story right there in Malaysia when Nigeria stunned the almighty New Zealand to win their to end their first ever victory at the World Cup. Cecilia, if you go to any cricket community online, you're talking about that historic achievement by Nigeria.
Of course, it's the ICC Under-19 World Cup taking place in Malaysia. And Nigeria, as just mentioned, they are powering on. Where South Africa is waiting in the wings. Tomorrow morning, they will be facing South Africa to see if they can win their second group game. The first one, they had to share a point because Samoa it was raining, cat, dogs, elephant, anything, so they couldn't play that game. And of course, on Monday, what happened? Nigeria winning, making their debut and also winning their first match against a country like New Zealand. We are celebrating them on the show tonight. And also, yes, touchdown are done on the Australian Open. NWFL gets our attention match day 2 Wednesday across the country. We'll talk about that. And okay, the story is ended for you, but yes, we'll just take a wrap at the CAF Confederation Cup and what they can actually do differently to ensure that maybe next time they make it to the continent, they can do better than what they did at the CAF Confederation Cup. And of course, MPFL rescheduled game. Yes, Ahmed Musa Eimba and, of course, Kano Pillars, that rescheduled game on Thursday, will also touch down on that. Of course, the UEFA Champions League, we were happy tonight because Demola Lookmo was able to score a goal. It's been a while he scored a goal, but Atlanta against Sam Cross, talking about the UEFA Champions League, he got a goal for Atlanta in that 5-0 victory. We'll talk about the UEFA Champions League games played earlier and, of course, games that will be played on Wednesday. We'll also be giving you updates of games currently going on in the UEFA Champions League. Yes, David Beckham and his business, how he was able to get that Inter Miami, where it's good to actually make good business, especially when you're signing a deal with a club. Yes, he made so much, and, of course, he had to fulfill his dream of owning a club, which was his desire. So much to talk about on the show tonight. Of course, it's a Tuesday, and Kehinde Idris is right here in Lagos studio. Kehinde, it's great to have you.
It's good to be here. You mentioned Ademola Lookman. The man is he's scoring like every other time, in the league, in other cups and all. But I think the story that is really tickling my fancy is on two sides, but both have to do with the same gender. Number one is the NWFL that returned last week with some massive results, Robo Queens and also Remo Stars ladies, and then Edo Queens continuing, what they know how to do best. Then also the female junior yellow greens, talking about the cricket team that beat New Zealand. See, some will say you celebrated them enough, some wait for them to advance and all of that. But there are some achievements that you hit. You need to continue the celebration. Yes, let the team concentrate on what they are doing. But for we who are sport writers, sport journalists, we will continue to celebrate it until another victory again. So, fantastic results. And yes, maybe this sport should be getting our attention because even the guys are doing something massive every other day. So the growth is, very geometric, not even arithmetic.
Yeah, it is geometric because they're making fantastic development there at Nigeria. More on cricket. Let's quickly talk about the Australian Open, starting off with Novak Djokovic. What he did earlier today. Carlos Alcaraz ruined that big mistake he made when Novak Djokovic, he had thigh problems. he could have been able to capitalize on that, because after the match, Djokovic had to admit that if he had lost the second set, he may have pulled out. But somehow he got treated, and of course, when the medicine started working, we don't know what he took, what the kind of problem it is. But he said when he started setting in, I mean, his strength was coming back, and he was able to fight back. You know, outlasted. I mean, how old is he? He's 37, and Alcaraz is 21. I mean, the difference is high. I mean,
you could have given bets to
so that match ended 4-6, 6-4, 6-3, 6-4. So semi-final with Alexander Zverev, who is also playing good tennis. But Djokovic, if you saw that picture, he was wincing. I mean, he had to call the trainer. He had a medical timeout late into that first set, but which he went on to lose. And then he returned with that heavy strapping. I felt, oh, okay, maybe this is it. But when you know Djokovic, after moving a bit while, then he got better and better. And before you know it, he won the next 3 sets. And then home and dry. I don't know what happened to Carlos Alcaraz.
I think that's a big question everybody is still asking. I'm telling you that categorically, Carlos Alcaraz is still asking himself. The team are still asking themselves how they let that slip off them, because it's somebody who is a very good power player. And when he gets that chance, he sees that weakness in you. He capitalizes on that. But he's not playing one of his sets. He's not playing one of those boys that are the same level or those who are junior to him. He's playing one of the veterans. And one of the things a veteran uses is psyche. It's not the strength or the swiftness and all of that. They cannot be as swift as the younger ones. They cannot be as strong as the younger ones. But you use your head. Now, in Grand Slams, the reason why it seems like these top guys thrive more in Grand Slams because of the best of 5 for men, best of 3 for women. You know, in other ones, best of 2 for women, best of 3, for men. Now, the moment you get past second set, psychologically, a lot starts to set in. You start to overthink, you start to second guess, you start to do a lot of things. Now, it is beyond strength now. It is now in the head. Oh, I don't want to make mistake. I don't want to do, I don't want to serve. I don't want to lose my serve. All those come together in your head while you're still playing. But these top guys, these guys who have been there, understand all of this, and they know how to bring themselves to a calm.
But that didn't work. If you remember in 2023 and 2024, Wimbledon finals,
it wouldn't
Alcaraz
work.
got the better.
It wouldn't work every
Djokovic.
day.
That didn't work.
That is why they got these numbers that they have.
Okay.
That is why they are called veterans, because of what they've been able to do.
All right.
Now, for any of these younger ones who can beat that, they will become, as huge a name as these guys are. So yesterday, I think that was what played out. He saw it, and then he couldn't take it. For Novak Djokovic, he, got that chance and didn't let it slip.
Didn't let it slip. Austin, Coco Gauff is out. Were you surprised? Paula Badoza, a player who said she could have retired last year because of that chronic back injury she's been having for a long time. Ranked number 12 in the world right now, taking out Coco Gauff, who is ranked number 3.
You know, with the women's category, I've always said it that it's very fluid. Anything can happen, So with women's tennis, I just wait till the final and then I do the analysis, because, except for, I think 2 years ago when Iga Swiatek actually showed us that she wants to dominate, and then now it's back to that fluid state again. I like Coco Gauff, because of the obvious reason. We watched her grow, But today, Badosa just said, look, having it, I'm going to fight. And if you see the scoreline for women's tennis, 7-5, 6-4, it was an actual fight, So, Cecilia, let me pass on the women's category and wait, as I said, till the final. But for not big, Cecilia, look, I consider today just crown him the king of Melbourne. You see, that arena just loves Djokovic. I still don't understand how at 37 he could defy injury, age, and ranking and beat a 21-year-old informed Alcaraz. I don't get it. When he was limping, I said, no, it's over. There's no way. He played aggressive tennis until that injury wore off. What a champ, What display of character, grit.
Right.
He's chasing that record extending 11th title in Melbourne. And with this sort of performance, when he goes back and watch it, he'll say to himself, Djokovic, the only man that can stop you now as you get into the semis is Djokovic.
Okay. All right, let's leave Djokovic and quickly leave Australian Open and come home to cricket. Yes, the Junior Yellow Greens under 19 Cricket World Cup taking place in Malaysia. And for Nigeria, they will be having their second group game against South Africa, their last group game against South Africa on Wednesday morning. And these ladies were able to beat New Zealand by 2 runs. So we'll be having endurance of him joining us. He's a player's representative of Nigeria Cricket Federation. He will be joining us to tell us, I mean, what they did to ensure that these girls are, not just qualified for the international cricket, competition for the first time, but also winning a game and the build-up to the game and what to expect from them against South Africa on Wednesday morning. Endurance, good evening. It's good to have you join us on the program.
Cecilia, I think we're trying to get Endurance to come back. I could see him, but now he's gone. Probably a bit of each right there. But Endurance will come back. As Cecilia rightly said, is the player's representative in the Nigeria Cricket Federation, so he understands the level of work that went into preparing the junior female Yellow Greens, to achieve that level of success against New Zealand. I agree with Kende Idris. We will talk about it, even if we don't win this World Cup. When it's done 2 months after, I will still be talking about it. Endurance of them is back. We lost him again, but hopefully Endurance of them will come and then we'll talk about it. But Kende Idris, we will not stop because we know this is a product of deliberate hard work. The National Under-17 Championship, shout out to Uyi Akpata and the NCF board. They were deliberate about this one. Endurance, gracious goodness, please don't go away again. Good evening, welcome to Sports Tonight.
Thank you very much, Tony. It's a proud moment for Nigerians all over the world, and it's a moment we've waited for. We've invested so much, and we're happy to see what's happening in Malaysia.
Endurance, I don't know if it's the excitement. You called me Tony. What's going on? My name is Austin.
Austin, forgive me. Austin, forgive me. I've been talking to a lot of people. These are exciting moments. I know how many phone calls I've received. Forgive me, please.
I pardon you, Endurance. I understand. Tell me, I know a bit of it, but how much work did we put into these girls that could give them that level of confidence to stun the almighty New Zealand under-19 women's team?
Well, Austin, again, I think it's no saying that there's been a lot of investment that has gone into preparing these girls for this World Cup. You know about the tournament pathway we have at the NTF, the Under-17 National Championship, which is where we find these young stars from for boys and girls. And we have, the last count was 32 states across the country involved. So we didn't just start this journey today. It's something we started 2 years ago. And when Uyi Akpata took over, it was a clear vision. As part of his KPI, he said in 5 years' time, we're going to be top 3 cricket-playing nations in Africa. And if you recollect last year at the All-African Games in Ghana, our female team came through with a bronze medal. And to tell you something, 80% of the crop of players you're seeing today were in that squad. So it's a long one coming, and there's been a lot of investment we've put in. And I think this is
I love it. I love it.
Brilliant moment for Nigerian cricket. And I really want to thank all of you in the press world, our key stakeholders that are helping come through. Everyone in Asia are quite excited. Some of us are stuck here in Lagos, Nigeria, but can't sleep. We have to wake up 3 a.m. to follow this game. And I tell you what, victory against New Zealand, the test play nation, is something I will ever be happy about.
I know. New Zealand, the current champions of the Women's T20 World Cup, they have the same system and structure that is making the best men's cricketers in the world, and we did what we did to New Zealand. It's South Africa tomorrow. You think it's the same pump, same energy, same confidence I will see from the girls?
Well, I'll tell you what, anything can happen. We've seen it at the highest level, playing against New Zealand, a country that is known for cricketing prowess. We've seen them semi-finalists in the last the last under-19 female world, Women's World Cup, and here we beat them at the group stage and booking a place in the Super Six. And tomorrow we have our own sisters here in Africa, South Africa. So trust me, the girls are pumped up. You can see for yourself the energy in camp, and they have all it takes to go all the way. We just have to believe in ourselves. You can see what is going around social media. The girls believe in themselves and they are telling the world we are coming. And as long as they're positive, they've got the right coaching crew, the team management is solid, and I think they have all they need to go all the way. So we're hoping that they will surprise us. Africa tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, Cecilia, this is the sort of story that gets you all in your mood and you wax lyrical and tell me, Austin, didn't I tell you? It's always the women that makes us proud.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. I mean, when I watched the highlights of the game, I couldn't wake up 3 a.m. to actually follow. But I tried to watch the one in South Africa tomorrow morning. But scoring that 65 and 6 batting, 65 to 6, also batting first, and the fact that they were also reduced to 35 overs. That's the question I want to ask Endurance, if that's the reason they actually won, if they had played maybe a fuller game, because after rain disrupts the one against Samoa, they couldn't play, but against New Zealand they won by 2 runs. Are there things they can actually do differently against South Africa? Because yes, we've beaten New Zealand, we're happy, but South Africa is more like there's always a rivalry. South Africa, Ghana, whenever we are facing this country, no matter the kind of sport we are in, there's always this energy that comes in. What can they do differently to ensure that, yes, at least they win the last group game?
Cecilia, we lost endurance. Hopefully, come back. But I'm sure Kehinde Idris has 1 or 2 things to say as regards the performance of the girls and what he's expecting tomorrow. Kehinde.
Very, very much to say. When Cecilia was talking about, there's the level of rivalry and all of that. That's on one side. There is always that level of rivalry. But the second thing, which is the most important, South Africa has a proper structure for cricket. So they are one of the best cricketing teams in the world, whether it's at the senior level or the junior level. So we're playing a team that has been there, has done that, have a lot of experience, have a lot of exposure. So the team, the ladies know what is on their hand, to come tomorrow. But the passion, the kind of drive, like he said, it started 2 years ago. South Africa will tell you it started 20 years ago. Yes, the current team will not, or they are not there 20 years ago, but it's all a system now. How do we get to beat this? Number one, we put in our passion like we always do. Everybody who strives to do anything in Nigeria, the number one thing is passion. Number 2, the drive. Now you're beating New Zealand and everybody's celebrating you. Look at Endurance said he's been getting calls all day, especially from Nigeria. And I'm sure he's giving that report back to the girls, saying, everybody's supporting you back home. Now you need to even give them more. I'm not saying if you do not give us more, we will still celebrate you, but just put it in context. You do more, and then you get more from us. So they know what to expect. It's South Africa, number 1. There is a rivalry. Number 2, you're playing a bigger team, and you need to make statement. If you beat South Africa, then, like I always say, some victories does 2 things. Now you've won the game in and probably gives you more points. Number 2, it sends a message to the team you're playing next. And if you beat New Zealand, which you've done, you now beat South Africa, the team coming next, we'll be thinking of what you can do to them while the game is ongoing, while you're beating them.
Okay. All right. Just hope that we'll be able to get that victory against South Africa. We'll quickly run through the NWFL match day 2 before we go on a break. All right. We won't have time for that. We'll talk about Nigerian Women's Football League after this break. But after the break, we'll be having Inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akoga on DSTV platform. All other platforms, Sports Tonight will continue. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll turn our attention to NWFL, Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership. That's the top flight of the Women's League in Nigeria. Match day 2, yes, match day 1 started so well. Most of the big teams winning their home games. But they will be traveling away from home. We'll see if they can continue on that run. Let's start off with what to expect from Group A on match day 2 of the Nigerian Women's Football League Premierships. Yes, Heartland will be welcoming Edo Queens at the Dan Ayin Stadium. That's where that game will be played at 4 p.m. Remo Stars ladies will be hosting Ekiti Queens at their own stadium, Remo Stadium. Dana's ladies are hosting Confluence Queens at 4 p.m. in Lagos. And of course, Abia Angels are up against Nasarawa Amazon. So these are the games that are coming from Group A on match day 2 of the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership. Let's flip over and take a look at the games to expect from match day 2 from Group B. Niger Rattles will be hosting Rivers Angels. That will take place in Abuja. FC Robo Queens will be up against Adamawa Queens. This will come up earlier at 1 p.m. And of course, Onikon Stadium. That's where most of the games in Lagos are being played. We're still waiting for Agege and Testing to be ready so that other teams can play games there. Delta Queens hosting Benue Queens. And for Ibom Angels, they are playing host to Bayelsa Queens. So these are the games for this week. Edo Queens going away from home after that 5-0 victory, starting on a good note, especially after experiencing the continent for the first time. But for that 5-0 victory against Abia Angels, right now, it's going to be against Heartland, another team from the east. But the difference is they will be playing away from home. Can they get something out of this?
I think they can. Like I said, when I was talking about cricket, now Heartland is thinking about the 5-0 bashing of Abia Angels, which has ruffled all of their plan, for Edo Queens. And for Edo Queens, they are buzzing. They are feeling very confident. We started with hoping the league, with 5-goal bashing of Abia Angels. I want to go to Heartland and get, a away win. Now, they are also inspired by what they saw Remo Stars ladies did, and also Robo Queens. Robo scored 5 away. Remo Stars ladies scored 3 away. That tells you that you can do whatever you can. Yes, it was raining goals. So you can do anything as long as you're on your day, you play good football, you set up right. You don't, you're not like a bicycle. And I think Heartland is one of those teams that Edo Queens can beat. As much as I have some respect for Heartland Queens, I think Edo Queens can beat them. Last season, Heartland Queens was one of the darling teams in the NWFL. But this time, I think Edo Queens have something, special. And I love when you're a big team, results tell the story. Not just big team, they are one of those teams. No, let the result continue to remind us that you're a big team. And I'm looking forward to other games. Remo Star Ladies versus Ekiti Queens. I want to see that game. Ekiti Queens won 1-0 away. Remo Stars went away to win. I want to see how Ekiti Queens, who got into the league last season, will hold their own against this Remo Star Ladies, who also got into the league last season. So I want to see how this game will go. Fantastic results on match they won. And for Abia Angels versus Nasarawa Amazons, both need victory. Sometimes you just need your league to start as soon as possible, and that's what I want to see. But every day, all day, my darling team, no matter what teams play in Lagos, there's something about Robo Queens for me. What they've given to Nigeria, stars upon stars that they've given to the country. And then, they're a Lagos team. I'm a Lagos boy in and out. So I want to see how they continue from the final run. Away, they scored 5. I want to see 10 goals tomorrow.
10?
Yeah,
okay.
You're home.
Okay. Austin, someone is really wicked here. How do you say something like that? It's a league game. We're not talking about the FA Cup or when you have a sub-team.
Yeah, they can be angry like that. We saw Manchester City beat Ipswich in a league game. Was it not 6? So it can happen. And I totally understand where Kele Idris is coming from. For FC Robo Queens to start the season the way they did, away, score 5 goals, it's Adamawa Queens, no disrespect. In Lagos, they might want to, see if they can double it. I'm sure they are watching and they've heard Kele Idris. They might just say, okay, everything a double. They might just double it for him. But it was so good, Edo Queens showed why they are the team to beat. So let's see if they can sustain the momentum. So definitely Heartland Queens will push them, but I think Edo Queens should show that, look, for you to win any form of title in any league in the world, you must prove your quality away from home, So let's see in these early stages what they can do with that. And that's what I'm also, looking forward to seeing what Niger Rattles can do against Rivers Angels. They went away, played 1-1 with Adamawa Queens. Now it's Rivers Angels. I remember, Cecilia,
Yeah.
the early phase of the season last season, Rivers Angels, they were struggling. Remember,
Yeah.
I love those sort of upset because it's good for analysis. So Niger Rattles might just get us talking because it's just the start of the season. So
Yeah.
teams are still trying to get into it. Trying to refresh, get their objectives right, and see how they can play the sort of football that they want to play, get their reading. So I want to see what Niger Rattles can do against Rivers Angels. We've talked about what Edo Queens and FC Robo should do in terms of sustaining their momentums. And then Abia Angels, Nasarawa Amazon, Cecilia. On a good day, that's a good one. Abia Angels got us talking. I think 3 seasons ago, we loved the sort of, they were trying to tell us they can chill with the big girls. But somehow, along the way, they just dropped their fire, and then we didn't hear much about them. Ibom Angels, good to see them back. I thought they had a decent game in their opener. But against Bayelsa Queens, it will be tough. But if you can win that sort of game, then you can start dreaming of having a good season, Cecilia.
As simple as that, having a good season is just for you to start so well. Rivers Angels, I'm afraid for them, as you mentioned, you have to start well. Try to see if you can start on a good note. But with one of their top strikers, Chiamaka Okuchukwu, leaving for San Diego in the US, she has moved, to NWSL. That's another export right there from Nigeria at 19. She was on the 20 team, the last time. But she has moved away from the club. So replacement may not be so easy for a club like Rivers Angels. As you mentioned, let's see what all of them can bring to the table. Match day 2, of course. After the games on Thursday, we'll be back here to take a look at how the whole results go. If Robo Quiz were able to spell Adamawa and even add 3 to it. I mean, Adamawa is 7 letters, right? So he wants 10 double. We'll see what will happen in Lagos tomorrow. So if you're in Lagos, you can actually go to Nikon Stadium and support these ladies. You have one at 1 p.m., the other one later in the day. So it's something we should expect from the 2 teams in Lagos. All right, we'll leave in that and quickly go to the CAF Confederation Cup. Is this what I really want to talk about? Okay, we'll just confirmation of the result. I know you already know what happened. I remember one of the editors, one of our senior person in the sports industry. I won't mention his name. He said they're actually going to Egypt, Zamalek, to collect. And they actually collected. Group D result, Zamalek of Egypt and Eimba ended 3-1. He has collected 3 from there. And Al-Masri and Black Bulls Maputo. Al-Masri did enough to end Black Maputo's dream of Mozambique. Now, let's take a look at, how it all ended. Talking about the table of that Group D. All right, there you have it. Zamalek, yes, you know how good they are. After 6 games, they are finished on 14 points, did not lose any. 2 draws they got. Of course, they won 4 matches. Amazru are second after 6 games, 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. They ended with 9 points. And Aim, of course, they started, they woke up late. Yes. Aim after 6 matches, 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses. And of course, ended with 5 points. And so they're staying with us, no more going to the continent this season. Black Bulls Maputo, 6 points. They won just 1, drawing 1, and losing 4. And of course, they ended with 4 points. And of course, one of the games they won was against Eimba. Just imagine Eimba has won that. Okay, they'll still be on 8 points. All right. I'm going to start from the studio or from London. With you in the studio before we go to London.
When you said they woke up late, Eimba never woke. It was just that the team they played on that day slept deeper than them.
You're mean.
Eimba never woke.
You are so mean.
You're saying I'm mean. You who said Eimba went to collect and they collected, you're not mean. But
I was trying to quote what
we're trying to trivialize.
said.
We're trying to trivialize the situation, but it's a painful one. It's a sad one. I have a lot of respect for Zamalek, Al-Masri, even Black Bull Maputo. But this is Eimba Football Club. At least I know 2 teams in that group that Eimba should properly be telling that I'm a bigger team than you. Al-Masri and Black Bull Maputo. Not because I disrespect them. But we're talking of Eimba Football Club, and recently they added International. Eimba Football Club International. Look at the table.
Yeah.
We went away and lost 3-0 to Black Bull. We couldn't hold our own against Al Masry, against Zamalek. These are sad stories that we continue to read every day. Like a colleague of mine said, it's not even about Enyimba. It's the entire football club setting in Nigeria where every day, all day, when we go on the continent, none of us, Cecilia, myself, Austin, we cannot beat our chest and say we are going to do something special. Yeah. This is the second tier. This is the CAF Confederation Cup. Now imagine Enyimba being put in the group stage of the CAF Champions League. They will be collecting 6 goals every match day.
Austin, please, I think maybe you can be a little bit optimistic. Can you?
Well, I was disappointed right after that draw with Zamalek in Uyo, and then they went on to lose in a very unacceptable way against Black Bulls in Maputo. I think Enyimba need to just go back and look at their campaign on the continent. Now, let me rephrase it, not just Enyimba, Nigerian teams. Nigerian teams, whenever they come to play on the continent, there's just one thing missing. I think it's a lack of concentration or focus, or something is wrong that they need to come out and talk. Let's create a safe space. Let them come talk about it. What is going on? Because that game in Uyo against Al Masry, they had no business to be chasing that sort of game. That game, boom, 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 first half, Enyimba 3, Al Masry 0. So that you pass a strong message that this sort of game you concede first, you get a penalty, goalkeeper has to save it, you score a goal, you get chances, you're not converting it, then you're not ready to play in the competition. It's as simple as that. And then you get a chance to, Zamalek now, they've qualified, they've dropped about 6 or 7 of their regular players, They just want to have fun, and then you're making silly mistakes, silly errors, schoolboy errors that for a team that is chasing points to finish on a high shouldn't chase. And then I don't understand goalkeeper Henry Ozomena. I've watched that over and over. I said, got the ball. There's a defender on the right. There's a defender on the left. Henry, pass to either of them now. You don't like them. They've not been making you happy. Play to safety. You chose to, dribble a Jaziri that is energetic, that is always charging, that is strong, and then you got dispossessed, and you shouldn't be conceding that sort of goal in that sort of match with the intention to at least just win and see what will happen between Al Masry and Zamalek. I've grown so much in this job that my level of neutrality just keeps me sane. Even when it's Nigeria, maybe to an extent, Super Eagles and Super Falcons, I might just get angry and try to, sip a drink to just sleep right. But every other team, I'll just shake my head and say, you've done this, you've done your part. I'll prove you wrong, I'll go to sleep. But we need to learn. This cannot be happening every season. The only good thing that's come out of this season is that we're able to still keep our 4 slots. Yeah. So that's good. So when we come next season, whoever is charging now, that's why sometimes I pray for Remo. Not because I want to come and form allegiance to Remo. At least I can see the sort of charge. You can see the commitment of the management. Yeah. You can see that if they get on the continent, the level of preparation. Mm-hmm. That's the word, Cecilia. Thank you. They approach it in a way that they want to compete. That's the sort of drive we should be seeing with football in Nigeria. So all the best to Enyimba. Now they can, calm down, face the MPFL and see if they can, finish and get a continental slot.
Yeah, of course. Talking about facing the MPFL, of course, they will be facing Ahmed Musa on Thursday. Kano Pillars, this game rescheduled March the 14th. Some of the games they missed while they were playing on the continent. I don't know why they can't actually do that together. Maybe most of the time they can't fly. So, road trip, the distance. Maybe that's the reason.
We can talk about that. We can talk about this, and this is sort of conversation the media needs to be having. Yeah. PFL officials, we put into consideration when Al Masry and Zamalek were playing you guys, they were playing in the league, and that keeps the momentum going. So why do you have to suspend it? You now break with the movement of the other team that is waiting for you. Okay. Because everybody is moving.
Can I try to explain why this happened? For instance, you have Enyimba playing a game maybe they're supposed to play a game on Sunday, and they have to play Zamalek away on Wednesday. Okay, after playing that game on Sunday, I'm sure they would have traveled on Saturday the whole day. Maybe they are playing in the north. I mean, travel for like how many hours? 16 or 17 hours on the road. And then they travel back, and then they have to fly to Egypt to play the game. I think
These are the issues. This
so
is what
maybe
we
what
must
they need
fix.
to do is, at least we have flights. I mean, they
Exactly.
can, have a connection with them. Maybe you can help me out with that. I mean,
we've got flights in Nigeria.
Nigeria, so
That's why we talk about professionally run club. If you cannot do it, leave. See, the NWFL standard is the best standard. They give you, these are things you need to meet for you to be a part of this season. If you cannot, we'll run on 12 clubs. We'll run on 10 clubs. And that is why every season you find the NWFL today is 12 clubs, tomorrow is 16 clubs, next tomorrow is 14 clubs. If you cannot beat it, don't come. It is only in the NPFL, somebody who does not have a stadium, would shall want to be a part of. Atlant got relegated, they bought slots. What did they do when they came back to the league? Everybody just wants to be there without doing nothing, no plan, nothing on ground. Okay. And then you want to be on the continent at all costs.
Okay, I feel your pain. So what do we expect from Aimba and Canopy? That's nothing. Okay, we'll leave it there and quickly go to the FA Champions League games played earlier today. Okay, we'll start off with games that will be played on Wednesday. Leipzig and Sporting Lisbon will be in action. Shakhtar and Brest will also be in action. AC Milan and Girona, Arsenal and Dinamo Zagreb. And of course, you have Celtic welcoming young boys, who happens to be the whipping boys of the UEFA Champions League, the league format. Feyenoord and Bayern Munich will also be national. PSG and Manchester City, Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Salzburg, and Sparta Prague and Inter Milan. So these are the games to expect on Wednesday night in the UEFA Champions League. Some of the games played earlier today, if we have that quickly, Atalanta winning by 5-0. And I know, yes, Ademola Lookman scoring actually got our attention in that one. Austin, quick one.
Cecilia, and as you were reading that, I was just looking at the fixture. And Liverpool played on Saturday.
They are playing Lille.
Playing Lille now, you see? So I was just like, is this the one we're just talking about now?
Europe, Austin, is easy. Traveling is so easy. You go by train, it's easy.
Cecilia, we need to get serious.
Okay, we are talking about Champions League. Can we leave MPFL, Austin? I understand, yes.
I understand, and that's why I like that. The president has said, build me a sports economy. That's the mandate. So let's start thinking about it. Quick update. You talked about it. Let's conclude. AS Monaco, they did that one. They had to fight. They dug deep. They defeated Aston Villa by a single goal in the Champions League. Atalanta, you mentioned Lookman with a goal in that one. But quick updates on some live scores. Benfica 3, Barcelona 1. Can you believe it? 38 minutes already gone in that one. Shocking. Borussia Dortmund 1, Bologna 0. Bologna is at home. Juve and Club Brugge is still goalless. 39 minutes gone in that one. I'm also monitoring the game between Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen. I see Nathan Taylor playing false 9 for Leverkusen. Red card has been shown to an Atletico Madrid player, but it's still goalless. So let's see if Leverkusen will take advantage of the man advantage. Liverpool 1, Lille 0. Mo Salah doing Mo Salah things. So that's the update, Celia.
That's what he can do best. For you, can Manchester City, the last Champions League game they played wasn't a good one. Yeah. Can they stop the rot?
Yeah, big game. PSG, Man City, both teams need points because everybody is fighting to make that, that qualification where you go straight to the last 8 instead of the last 16. So everybody is running. And there are about 8 clubs who are on 13, right about now, including some who are in the automatic qualification for the quarterfinals and some in the 16 qualification for the round of 16. So they need this point, and you're going to visit PSG. Maybe with the last 2 results we've seen of Man City, maybe they are back to Man City ways, and maybe this game will tell us another story. For PSG, they've gotten Kvaratskhelia, and maybe that is the man to also had a little, because I feel they're falling off the pecking aside their league, who I do not rate. In the Champions League, they've not been it. Maybe this is the man to had, the spark that's been missing. So I think that's the big game to be seen tomorrow. And, all other games, just watch and relax. The new format has not really gotten people out there, going. but they've enjoyed big games on the day, and we've seen a lot of big games in the group stage yet. So maybe on that angle, it's been fantastic. But getting everybody going with the new format, no, we'll wait till the knockout round. For now, let's see those who qualify automatically for the round of 8.
Austin, we have to go. And of course, David Beckham. I mean, this is inspiring, right?
Very inspiring. You know, I watched the entire interview, and when I was done, I said, Austin, go and start an academy. You know, he said he spoke to Sir Alex Ferguson, got idea on the sort of players to get. He also spoke to Real Madrid boss Fiorentina. Whereas you see, it tells you need role models around. And then he went to Los Angeles. He spoke to the commissioner. How many academies do we have? The guy said none. He said none. How do you get your players? And that's it. This Inter Miami we're talking about, Kevin Idris and Cecilia, it was founded in 2020, 4 years ago. And look at the level of success. Dream big. That's it. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Kendi, you have to go.
Yeah, that's why I've always believed in Remo Stars. Hopefully, they will be this big, and we'll be talking about them. It's good to be here.
Big Remo Stars fan right here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. We'll leave you with highlights coming from the Australian Open. Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz. And of course, Al Badoza was able to take out Coco Gauff. Good night.